Hi folks, hope you're doing well. It's just gone 10:15 on the 24th of the 6th, 2020. Quick video on the Man Utd game versus Sheffield Wednesday. 3-0 win. So I watched most of the game, not all of it, but most of it. The last sort of 5 minutes I didn't see. But I was taking the dogs out then, so just got back. So we were out for quite a while. Just before 2 hours actually. Yeah, just had a 2-hour walk with the dogs. That was good. They should be knackered. They're going to sleep for a while now, so that's brilliant. Yeah. So the match, it was it's one of these matches that if you don't win, that is just a terrible situation, especially now. Before the break, Sheffield United were very, very good. Far, far better than what they are now. Saying that, they did have 3 of the 4 defensive players that were key to them being very good missing in this game. But in the last game, they conceded 3. Again tonight, they conceded 3. They've struggled ever since the Premier League restarted. And so it was likely that United would win this one tonight without much of a struggle. And they did. I'd say overall, defensively, they weren't really pushed. Not at all. It was a shame not to see Bailly start. To see Lindelof start again, because Lindelof and Maguire is a partnership that is incredibly slow. Just not suitable to work together, really. It's okay having 1 slow centre-back, but 2, not a good idea. But again, the manager went with Lindelof and Maguire. Not wise. I don't think that's a good move. De Gea in goal. Not really much more he could have done about that. It had to be De Gea in goal, I suppose. Left back, right back again. I think they both did okay today. And when Wan-Bissaka set up a goal, it was a good ball in. Nice and low, crisp, precise, right to Martial's feet for the third. So Wan-Bissaka did okay. He could have still done better because, again, he's quite wasteful. When he's attacking, he seems to be in 2 minds as whether the pass will back or take a player on, so he sort of does half and half. He needs to improve on his attacking. Defending, he's absolutely brilliant. He's attacking, again, short on the other side, pretty much the same as Wan-Bissaka. Attacking-wise, okay. He's okay, but he's another player that he can take players on. He has got the pace. He has got enough skill to be able to do so. But the thing of it is, he's had Lou Van Gaal tell him to hold the ball up. He's had Jose Mourinho tell him to hold the ball up. Now, I don't know what Solskjaer is telling him, but he seems to be not really wanting to get beyond that last man. But that really is what the wing-backs should be doing. They've both got great pace. They should be able to do that. They need to be working on that a lot more, because at the moment, United aren't playing with wingers. They're playing with 3 attackers, 3 midfielders, and the attackers are fluid, so therefore they're just moving around all over the place. So generally speaking, the right wing or left wing isn't going to have someone on there all the time. So it's the wing backs that are going to have to cover those positions and do the jobs of the wingers. But they haven't been doing it. I mean, Shaw hasn't been doing it for 5 years. But you can blame previous managers for that. The problem is now, can you blame an attacking manager? You're not attacking well enough? Not sure. We're not certain on that one. I'm saying not sure. His name is Shaw, so that's why I changed it to not certain. Wan-Bissaka, he's been a player known for his fantastic tackling. He now needs to take that up a step and be a great wing back and be able to be good in attack as well as in defence. So today he did well. He did set up a goal. Brilliant. You can't really ask much more from a wing back. he did well in defence and he did well in attack. So, if I was to rate him, I'd say probably he would get probably an 8 out of 10 for today. I think Shaw a 7. Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka probably a 7. I think that's fair. Didn't have much to do. De Gea probably a 7. In midfield, McTominay did okay. We were expecting to see. Was it McTominay or Matic? Matic. It's Matic. Oh, it's Matic. Yes. There's a roommate it would be McTominay, but it was Matic. Matic did okay. Again, the problem I see with Matic, and this happens all the time with Matic, he gets a bit too adventurous at times, and when he does, he has to pass the ball back because he doesn't have the pace or skill to get past a defender. But he often finds himself, running down into that position with the ball, and then like, oh God, I've got a nosebleed. Let's get the ball back and let's get back into my defensive role. If that's the case, be a bit more disciplined, because in this game it didn't matter, but there are going to be games when it's going to matter. There really will be games when it matters immensely that he keeps his discipline, especially if we've got Pogba and Bruno going forwards. But he did okay. So for him, I suppose they handled the midfield pretty well, and he did his job okay. So a 7 for him. Pogba, Bruno, they both did well. They both had their parts to play in the goals today. They played some good football. They linked up well. They linked up well with the forwards, created a lot of opportunities for the forward pairing of Martial and Rashford. I'd say at least a 7, if not an 8 for them both, really. I think they both did very well. Tricky thing with Pogba is Pogba seems to play better having a completely fluid role. Because in the last game against Spurs, that fantastic pass he made was from way deep in his own half. But when he then won the penalty, he was in the other team's penalty box, in Spurs' penalty box, running there. So he likes to go between the two. Now, the thing of it is, today he was mainly in Sheffield United's half. So he was quite compressed. And we didn't quite see as much from him as in those great balls through. He played a lovely ball through for, I think it was chip through. Was it Martial or Rashford? I'm not sure. That's Rashford, and Rashford's fluffed it. Again, we've gotten to Rashford in a second. So Bruno and Pogba, 7 or an 8 from both. They did okay. They handled the midfield. They performed well together. It's only the second game, proper match, where they've actually had a chance. It's the first game they've actually started together. So it's good. It was a good game for them both, really, to play in, I suppose. Sheffield United are struggling at the moment. So therefore, for the two of them to have a little practice game, it wasn't a bad game for them, really. So for the front two, Martial, Rashford. I think Rashford has always bugged me. And the reason why he's always bugged me is because Rashford is the sort of player where he is running boiling point, or very cold. He can't just be hot on a continuous level. He's either boiling hot or he's freezing cold. Today, he was cold. His finishing was terrible today. He had his part in the goals, assisting the goals today, which was good. But realistically speaking, we could have won by a lot more goals. He had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. yeah, the game could have been put to bed a long time before it was. What I don't get with him, and this may seem to be a bit of an unfair look at Rashford, but with him, what I don't get, he spends so much time in his charity work. If he spent even half that amount of time on improving his footballing ability, I think he could be one of the best players in the world. He's got pace, he's got skill, and he can finish, but he seems to lose focus too much. As I say, his runs either very, very hot or very, very cold. Whereas with Martial, I think Martial is a player who can run hot for a long time. I think he can. I think he can be that player. Because he seems to have that in his nature, where he just can be calm in front of goal. He needs to have the chances. He had chances the same as Rashford did today. It's just that Martial scored 3 goals. Rashford scored 0. That's not totally fair because, yes, Rashford played okay. You know, if you're counting him as a role as a wide forward, someone to back up the forward and provide goal chances, then he had a brilliant game today. But if you're counting him as one of 2 forwards who should be going at scoring goals, well, no, he didn't do very well today. Sub-wise, the subs come on too late, to really make a difference. They all come out at the same time as well, which I thought was against the rules. I thought this new changing, you can have 5 subs, but I thought they're supposed to be spread out in 3 lots of substitutions. That's what they told us last week. That's what the media was saying last week. And yet they seem to have changed that now, because tonight they did all 5 in one go. Now that basically means that the game is going to be disjointed after that, and I think it probably was a bit. I didn't see much of it actually after that. It was shortly after that I had to take the dogs out. So, yeah. I think manager-wise, I think he did okay. I don't think he had too much of a job to do today, really. I do think that as an attack-minded manager, he's got to spend more time working with Rashford and players like James as well, because James come from Cardiff, from a much, much lower level, and he started off playing on the left and was brilliant. Did really, really well there. He's been moved to the right, and he's struggled a lot. Again, that is down to the coaching. The coaching just haven't helped him out at all. So I think the coaches have a lot of work to do in these coming weeks, and certainly in the summer, in any break they have in the summer. They've got a lot of work to do. I mean, I would personally say to the players that need a lot of work, you come back a week early, because we need to really focus on getting you ready for next season. Yeah. I mean, if I was in charge of the coaching, I'd bring Matic back early. If he's going to have an important place to play in the team next season, he's going to be older, slower. So let's get him back early. Let's make sure his fitness is right up there when the season starts, so he can be used. Because at the moment, if you're going to have Pogba and Bruno, you need someone there to work as a holding midfielder. McTominay really isn't that. Fred certainly isn't that. So really, they've only got Matic who can do that. Anyway, there you go. I mean, in other football news, Newcastle drew against Villa, which is interesting. Good for Villa, because Villa were in the danger zone. I'm not sure if they still are. They certainly were, and they still are in the danger zone. Right, so they're still 19th. But they got a point, so a point wasn't too bad for them. Norwich, big trouble. Bournemouth, yeah, they're in big trouble. They're lost. Wolves did okay, so Wolves have put themselves in a position where they're still above Tottenham by 4 points, which for them is very, very good. They beat Wolves 1-0. Everton beat Norwich 1-0, so that's really Norwich down. I can't see how Norwich can survive now. Yeah, 6 points away from safety, and goal difference is terrible, so that's at least 7 points. 7 points away from safety. And the way things are going for them, they just can't seem to get a goal. Yeah, they are really, really struggling. And so I think they're probably down. Obviously, Liverpool are going to win the league. They're 20 points clear with 8 games to go. And yeah, I think it's one more game. If they win their next game, I think they are probably. Certainly, if Liverpool win that next game and Man City don't, then Liverpool will be crowned champions. Because with 7 games left, the maximum points, therefore, will be 21. And they will be 22 to 23 points above City. So, from a Man United point of view, that's bad. And certainly, to be so far away, which we are right now. Yeah, we are 34 points away from Liverpool. That's terrible. So, there you go. It is what it is. That's football as it is right now. It's interesting. It's interesting that they started it. They could easily said, right, we cancel the season. It is risky. Of course it is, yeah. So, but they didn't. I think partly because there's so much money involved in, you couldn't really say. I mean, if you go back to it now, could you really say that it was right to leave it as it is? Because Aston Villa, Bournemouth, both have a chance to get out the bottom 3. They both have a chance to get out of that, and they could easily get out of it. Yeah, they've both got good managers. They've got good little teams. So I would expect them both to possibly get out of that. Yeah, Aston Villa got a point tonight. That was good. So yeah. 1 second, I'm trying to refresh this thing. It's not refreshing very well. Let's try and refresh it and see if that changes anything. No, okay. So I thought maybe it'd change it. So Villa were actually out of it because Villa are on 27. Pretty much every team there apart from Southampton, Watford, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Burnley, and Chelsea, and City, and Liverpool. There's a lot of teams that still play 30 games, put it that way. Which I thought was a bit crazy because Liverpool just played now. They've obviously got more games, a lot more games coming up now. So tomorrow you've got Burnley, Watford, Southampton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. And City are playing again this quickly. Wow. It's Chelsea as well. And you've got on Saturday is Aston Villa at Wolves. They're a tough one for Aston Villa, but they're at home, so they have a chance. 28th, you've got Watford, Southampton. 29th, Crystal Palace, Burnley. And 30th, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Manchester United. And Brighton Hove Albion where are they? They're 15th, so they will probably survive this season. They're only 6 points above relegation, so they could go down. Absolutely, with 7 games to go for the bottom 4, including Brighton. 7 games to go. Putting back 6 points is quite possible. Losing 6 points is quite possible. So at the moment, it's all interesting. There's still a lot to play for. Top 4, even though top 5 maybe, because again, if City have been banned from Europe, if they finish second, they won't actually be counted as finishing second with regards to Champions League. So it'll be the top 5 teams apart from City that go into that next season. So it's the top 5 that I think is going to matter with regards to the Champions League. So time will tell. There's still a lot to play for, as I say. You take care. God bless, and I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.